Hi guys, Yannick here for Yannick's Photo School. How are you guys today? Now today we're going to look at a function in Photoshop called fit image. Now this is not exactly the same thing as image size, and I'll tell you why. Basically I'm doing this tutorial because a lot of you asked me after the how to create actions video tutorial. I actually did an example in that using image size. Now a couple of you asked me, well, what if I want both my portrait and landscape photos to have the same pixel width on the longest edge of the photo. Now, of course, you cannot do that using image size because that will only affect it'll affect only the width or the height of your photo. So if you have portrait photos, well, if you set 800 pixel width, the width of the photo, whether it be portrait or landscape, will be 800. So you'll have different sized photos. We don't want that. We basically want the long edge, whether it's portrait or landscape, to have to have the exact same width or height. So how do we do this in Photoshop? Before I show you how to do it in Photoshop, you know how I like to compare with Lightroom, so I'll just show you briefly how it's done in Lightroom. And it's a lot easier in Lightroom because it's basically a function that's already in there. Let me just show you briefly. So I selected all the images here down here to export, so it's a bit like creating an action, a batch action. I just click on the export button, and the fourth box down is called image sizing. Now usually by default it's unticked, just so that it keeps the same image size. But if you want to resize your image, just click on resize to fit, and you'll have this first drop down menu. Now the first option, width and height, is exactly like image size in Photoshop, which is not what we want right now. What we want to do is use long or short edge. I usually use long edge. And you only need to type in the number of pixels, or if you want, centimeters or inches, of the longest edge. 800 is usually what I do to send to friends or whatnot, and that's all you need to do in Lightroom. And you don't have the problem of creating an action or anything like that. Then you just click on export, and you're done. All your images will be exported. Your portraits and landscape photos will have their longest edge at 800 pixels. All right, let's get out of Lightroom now, go into Photoshop, and let's see how we can do that here. All right, you can do it, and it's not that complicated, but if you want to do it for a batch of images, you'll have to create an action. Now, if you're not sure how to create an action, go into the page of the classroom page on Yannick's Photo School and look into the Photoshop tutorials. Probably one of the last ones down there is called How to Create a Photoshop Action. And go through that tutorial, and you'll easily be able to integrate this function called fit image into your action. Now, let's look at this landscape photo here. Let's see how we can make this long edge. So all we need to do is go into File, Automate, Fit Image. All right. Now what's really important, if you want the your width and height, because here it doesn't say long edge or short edge or whatnot. It basically says width and height. What you need to do if you want the width and height to be the same for both your landscape modes, your landscape photos and your portrait photos, you need to put the same number into both. All right. Now, this will not create a square image. It won't squish anything. It basically constrains the proportions of your landscape and portrait images so that the longest edge will have this value. All right, so it's important to put the same value in both so that it affects the height when it comes to portrait photos and the width when it comes to landscape photos. Now just click OK. Now to confirm what I'm saying, let's just go into Image, Image Size, and you'll see that the longest edge, which was the width, is now 800 pixels, and the height is shorter than that. All right. Now let me show you how it works on a portrait orientation photo. Same thing, File, Automate, Fit Image. We put in 800 pixels already. Bam, image size, and this time it's the height that was affected because it took the longest edge and added that value. And it's that simple. It's a quick little thing, but not a lot of people are aware of this function in Photoshop. They're just used to image size. So I hope you enjoyed this little quickie tutorial on how to make sure that your longest edge of your photos when you're doing a batch process is the dimension that you asked. So that way your images are relatively all the same size. This is Yannick Chauvin signing out, and see you soon. Bye-bye.